What's going on, guys? So, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been making some moves in this free agency. They did the impossible. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the most stubborn NFL franchise ever, decided, you know what? Enough of these non-mobile quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett, get rid of him. Mason Rudolph, get rid of him. They decided for the first time ever to actually go out and get mobile quarterbacks to help their team. They went and got Russell Wilson. And just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, they went and got Justin Fields. And I personally think this is great for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they're always contending for a playoff spot under Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record as the Steelers head coach. It's honestly crazy that he's never had a losing record. And he's had guys like Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph and 40-year-old Big Ben being their quarterbacks. And he still managed to somehow get to a 9-8 or an 11-5 record. Like, he's always having winning records, and he's had bad quarterbacks for the last several years. So now they finally went and got Russell Wilson, who I know he struggled a little bit in Denver. That was largely due to the offense not really meshing. Nathaniel Hackett was a little bit in over his head. Sean Payton and he didn't really disagree, but Russell Wilson put up good numbers last year. Statistically, he was a top 10 quarterback. So now you give him Mike Tomlin with the Steelers team that has had a winning record the last several years? If the Steelers could go 9-8 with Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph, I would assume they would be better with Russell Wilson, with his experience and mobility. Not as mobile as he used to be, but he's more mobile than those two guys. He's won a Super Bowl. Multiple-time Pro Bowler. Great quarterback. And then they went and got Justin Fields. Justin Fields is probably their quarterback for the future. They want Justin Fields to be their long-term guy. But Justin Fields hasn't had any time to really develop. He hasn't been able to learn under a good quarterback. He's been stuck in Chicago, practically doing nothing. Just on his own out there, operating by himself, no help whatsoever. So now he's on the Steelers, where he can learn under Russell Wilson, someone with a very similar play style to him, who's been in the league 10 plus years, who's been to a Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl, one of the best quarterbacks of the generation. He can learn from him. But the Steelers, obviously, they want to win right now. That's why they got Russell Wilson. They want to win right now because they have a win-now-ready roster. They've had above 500 records the last several years with terrible quarterbacks. So they got Russell Wilson so they can win now while also ensuring their future. I mean, George Pickens, TJ Watt on that defense, with a mobile quarterback like Russell Wilson, with Mike Tomlin heading everything. Man, these Steelers could be something. Now, I'm not going to jump on board the bandwagon and say, oh my gosh, the Steelers are guaranteed to win the division. They're going to be a Super Bowl contender. I'm not going to sit up here and say all that. However, if they can go 9-8 last year with Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett, they should at least make the playoffs with Russell Wilson. And with Mike Tomlin as their coach and TJ Watt and that defense, George Pickens too, Pittsburgh Steelers could be a little bit of a sneaky threat this year. So we'll have to see, but man, nobody was expecting this. The most stubborn franchise actually went and did something. Times are changing. The times are changing.